Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode. It is me, Victor.
It is me, Nick.
And I'm still Ryan.
So today we're talking about two more films, two very different films.
Very different.
Very different. So maybe let's just go with Black Sea first. Just
You want to do that first?
Yeah, why not? Get the more uninteresting one out of the way.
What?
I mean, I'm not saying it's not interesting, but
Okay.
compared to
I am.
the other one.
Debatable. How about a recap first?
Yep, Nick, you're on it.
All right. Black Sea tells the story of a recently fired sub-pilot who gets a tip-off from some corporate higher-ups that they have a chance to pull off the ultimate heist. It involves robbing a sunken German U-boat left over from World War II. So the pilot assembles a crew. They find themselves a sub, and they go after the U-boat in the Black Sea, as it were. Deception, peril, and adventure await them in this kind of unique heist, or at least at face value, a different sounding kind of heist film.
Yeah. What were you guys' reactions to it? What did you guys think?
Felt like every other heist film.
Well, I'll say the same, but I was entertained. It wasn't too bad.
I really liked it, actually.
I did a lot of fast forwarding.
What?
How
do you-
We can't keep watching movies. You're going to fast forward through them.
That's not watching a movie.
Oh, yes, we can.
That's not watching a movie.
But okay, so you fast forwarded
A lot.
It. Okay.
Okay. I guess I'll start. So, I remember this was a... I've been keeping track of this movie for a while, because I remember back in the day, on a Wednesday, saw this trailer. It looked pretty interesting enough, so I was waiting for the day I'll be able to see it, have access to it. Then it popped up on Netflix one day, and then I added it to the watch list and didn't watch it until recently, such is the way of the Netflix watch list. And I'd say it met my expectations. Like I said, at face value, it sounds different. It's a submarine thriller. Those are always good. Going back as far as Run Silent, Run Deep, and then you got the more famous ones, Hunt for Red October, Crimson Tide. Sub movies are great. They can be really good when done right. And it's also a heist movie. So those two worlds colliding together, something interesting, kind of samey, but entertaining nonetheless, I thought.
Yeah. I didn't know what to really expect going in, but I was pretty entertained, and I liked it more than I thought. I thought it was actually quite boring by the sound of it, but I mean, that's what something you take on face value. That's just what you're gonna, initial reactions, initial thoughts. But no, I liked how it started out. I thought overall it was pretty cliche, but I mean, I appreciate the setting at least. A submarine as your main setting. I dig that a lot. And there's, quite a bit of good tension throughout, especially towards the end of the film. I was pleasantly surprised.
I will back that up. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Mainly when they get on the submarine, I feel that's when the movie officially begins.
Yeah.
The setup was kind of more the same.
Right.
So, yep. The reason why they're doing the heist, assembling the crew, getting their sub, and not getting their sub part, but getting to the main area for the film, and then we can get into the meat of the film.
Yeah.
When they were prepping, I actually felt my brain shut off.
No kidding.
Yeah. When I saw them in the coffee shop with...
Oh, yeah.
And they were, flipping through all the papers they had, I was just like, this has been done 4 million times already.
Sure.
I've seen this done in more inspired and more creative ways
Yeah.
than I saw it here.
That's fair.
The first 20 minutes was rough to get through for me.
Kind of,
Yeah, it was
a
boring.
little bit. I mean, not the worst or not the not the best either.
Also,
but
yeah.
it serves its purpose.
I actually didn't like how it was photographed, too, until they got to the sub, because it was like the shaky cam.
Very
Cool.
shaky
Okay, yeah.
cam.
I was like, this is a little
Yeah.
cheap looking, but I think once they got into the sub and used more wide angles and played more with the corridors and the halls,
Yeah.
I liked that. I think that's when it kind of it was really when they got on the sub and more the dangers happened, and I
Yes.
like how it wasn't just so I mean, obviously in a film you're going to have multiple obstacles, but I like the obstacles presented here, where it's like, okay, it's getting worse, and now it's getting much worse.
Yeah, and the obstacles didn't feel too scripted, or they didn't feel too artificial.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
weren't over the top or anything.
Yeah,
yeah,
stuff
Sub
like
problems.
hull breaches, navigating deep sea canyons, and even the distrust among the crew members.
that,
None of
yeah.
it felt too too forced.
I'll tell you what was forced, a lot of the dialogue.
Kind of. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, I think
And the characters not too much.
Oh
Not
man,
too much to-
stereotypical character.
Yeah.
like, right when you see
Oh,
Ben
man.
Mendelsohn's character, when he's kind of off his rocker,
Absolutely,
like, you know
yeah.
how that's
He's the
gonna go
crazy.
down.
Right? They even say like he's crazy, but he
violent.
gets the job done.
Yeah, so you already kind of expect something, but
But the characters do follow through on their talents.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Like when Ben Mendelsohn is diving eventually in the movie,
Right.
he does look like he knows what he's doing. He's keeping everyone.
But it's like such a one note thing in writing. It's like he's good at this, show he's good at that. That's it.
But it's also another
Yeah.
thing when they're one note and the movie or the director doesn't even bother to make him live up to that one note.
I know, but he used it in a one note delivery. It's like he's good at swimming. Let's show him swimming well.
Perhaps, yeah.
They could have done something more creative, I think, where it's like he's good at swimming. Okay, let's have him do something that involves difficult swimming that the normal person would really struggle with.
well,
rather than
scuba
just doing
scuba
he did.
diving, which I think is difficult in itself when you're managing your oxygen tank and your breathing and weight.
But if they up the ante on that,
Yeah,
Perhaps,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what else you could have done. Like they're getting gold from a ship.
Yeah. That is
But
cool. That
I
was,
get it. He's pretty basic. It's like I'm good at scuba. I'm also distrustful and violent.
Yeah.
Can't do much.
I did like how the backstory was presented. Not so much how the exposition was there. I mean, you're going to have exposition. I'm not complaining about exposition, but just like the history about it. It seemed cool to me.
Behind the submarine, or
Or just
their
behind
goal?
the goal. Yeah, behind
Yeah,
the
yeah.
goal, how the sub got there. I want to know if that's actually true because it probably isn't, but it'd be nice if it was.
it
'Cause
would be nice if it was.
like something cool you'd see show up in a documentary at some point.
Sure, it's probably based off something true.
I guess
I
what
feel
I-
like that's
What I'm saying is I like the premise essentially.
okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And yeah, the acting's all right. It's
Ooh,
fine.
it
No,
got spotty in the first 20
I will
minutes.
say,
that opening was so weak.
kind
I
of,
couldn't
yeah.
believe it. It got better at the sub, but like,
Yeah.
man, I could barely get to the submarine.
Is Jude Law like a?
Jude Law is British, but
I know,
that is
well-
that's a different dialect of British.
Well,
he was
that's
trying
like
to do.
Scottish.
I thought he was doing Russian at
Or
one
Ireland.
point.
Yeah, me
Was
too.
he
I
Russian?
didn't know what he was doing.
No, I don't think he was Russian. I think it was Irish or
It sounded
Scottish.
Irish at times too.
And then I thought his friends were also Irish, but
Well, half
At
British,
times.
half British, half Russian crew.
At times they were. I mean,
does he have like any standout roles? 'Cause I don't
Jude Law?
know. Yeah, I don't
Well, he
think I've
was
seen
in,
him in.
he was in
this.
Captain Marvel recently.
Well, please
Marvel
not
film.
Captain Marvel,
But
like something
uh,
90s, early to like.
well, hold on. He was in the what was it called? The Pope, something like Pope. It was a series.
Young Pope.
He's in the Young Pope on HBO. He's in a
Oh.
lot of like costume dramas, period films. I think he was in Atonement, Pride and Prejudice, movies like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just found him to be pretty dull.
I think there's more to the character because he is a decent actor when he gets
Right.
a decent
it's
role.
writing. The writing
is
in
the
this
writing.
was weak. Very
Yeah.
Fair.
weak. Something else that was weak was music. Whoa,
Dude, I can't even remember it.
Unfortunately,
It's imagine any heist movie. That's the music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't remember it.
yeah. I did like Ben Mendelsohn though. I mean, as stereotypical as his character was, I did like him. He's an actor that gives his all in every performance.
I like him a lot, but he's the one actor or one of the few that I just anytime I see him, like, that's Ben Mendelsohn. I can't. He's
Sure.
just Ben
But he's
Mendelsohn's talk like this.
He's good.
Ben Mendelsohn. I like him a lot, but
He's
like,
good at it, you know. That's not him.
Uh,
My favorite character though was Baba, the sonar operator. I don't know why. Just anytime he was on screen, I was with him. I believed it.
got good ears,
Yeah.
best ears in Russia.
Yes. I liked it. Some good. There's a lot of interesting segments they do. I think my favorite segment. Oh, probably towards the end when they have to navigate the canyon.
Yes.
Oh,
Same.
I forgot Scoot McNairy. He was also entertaining. He's the banker. They keep calling him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, just how that scene played out. So they have to.
Yeah.
So
He's kind of annoying.
In case you couldn't
I get
tell,
that's
we're-
kind of his character's
in
like.
case you couldn't tell, we're doing spoilers here. So just getting into it
yeah.
right here. They have to navigate this underwater canyon because their ship is at critical mass for being blown to fuck, and so they're navigating. They're being real careful, and by this point, Scoot McNairy is trying to steer Ben Mendelsohn's character into doing something that will be an irreversible problem on the submarine. And just the way he's trying to manipulate him and trying to get him to go through with it. I don't know. I thought that was probably the high point of the movie for me, because I was feeling a decent tension with this film. All the set pieces had me going at some
Well,
point.
I got nothing from this.
Well,
Nothing.
I was actually hooked to my TV. I didn't stop for anything. I thought.
I kept fast forward. Even during one exciting part where they're getting flooded, I'm like, 5 minutes ahead.
Damn.
Man,
Dude, it was rough for me. The scenes, and they all overstayed their welcome by like 3 minutes.
perhaps
Every single
it
scene.
could have been tighter. It could have been tighter paced.
The editing felt amateur. It just, they didn't know
Nice
when to end a
amateurs.
single
Come on.
scene. They didn't know how to end a single scene.
Perhaps. I also did like when they were before that scene. I did like how when they were diving, when they finally find the U-boat going on board, diving. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was neat when they left the sub. I was getting tired of the sub at one point. I was like, okay, hallways, next.
Yeah, now we're diving, and the underwater scenes didn't look too bad. Like there's some
Wasn't terrible.
there's some visual effects. They were tolerable. They weren't nothing spectacular, but nothing terrible either.
Man, speaking of special effects, the shot of the submarine going over the camera,
That's pretty cool,
for me, it was like, it started to feel like Spaceballs. I'm like, dude, this is lasting an eternity.
It's a big sub.
This is taking forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of invested towards the end. The set piece where I don't remember if the ship falls twice
Well,
or is it one time?
well, there was the one time that was a big problem, and then the final time is when it all goes to hell.
I liked that a lot. I actually was like, I made a sound because I wasn't expecting it, but
Yeah.
'cause it reminded me of in the Shallows, or not Shallows, 47 Meters Down.
Oh,
a film you really love, Nick.
No,
But the cage falls like twice or something. It just like you don't expect it because they're almost saved, but it just that last obstacle they have to go through.
okay, I'll give you that.
I like that a
little
lot.
bit. It's been
In both 47 Meters and Black Sea, but
yeah. Oh yeah, like when something big happens, there is an effect that you feel. I certainly felt it. I didn't get up from my chair after all. Like I said, it shows how much I like this movie. And
I got nothing from the main character in the emotional bit. I appreciate that they put that in, but I'm like, there is no atmosphere. I have nothing for this character.
yeah, this isn't
Yeah.
the strongest character piece to get latched on to.
I think what was really forced when you're talking about forced dialogue is towards the end, Jude Law's character, you can tell he's becoming a little bit unhinged. Like he's not really thinking too much about the safety of the crew. He's more thinking about the cash value of this gold they're getting off this U-boat. And so many times they're like, the gold's driving you mad, man. You gotta stop.
Yeah.
You gotta, drop the gold. And I wish they just made it a bit more nuanced. Like, we could have easily figured out that the gold was getting to him by maybe like a look or even like a decision. We could have just understood without having 5 people say that the gold's making you crazy, man. Like, I thought that, like, I get it.
Yeah, dialogue was very weak.
Yeah, Treasure of Sierra Madre, it ain't quite. It is like, I guess in hindsight, it needed more nuance to it.
Right. And, yeah, I don't know.
When I was watching, I was about to say, this is how much I get into my movies. I get kind of blinded. When I was watching the movie, I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, this is gonna be like lighter Triple Frontier, and then I quickly realized, no, Triple Frontier is way better written and better paced and more entertaining than this movie, because they're both kind of the same, or at least in that they're a heist movie, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I did like the ending.
Me too.
The ending was cool.
When the third dude comes up, I was like, okay, he made it. That's great. This is what I was expecting. And then it's not. It's just filled with stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, there
Yeah.
you go. There's an idea.
Cool.
There's creative writing. Well done.
Julio, yeah.
Only took. And then talk about not knowing when to end a scene. Then suddenly the other's like, well, the one important scene we have in the movie, I don't have any more runtime. We're going to cut this right now. Credits.
I thought it was very abrupt.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah.
was an abrupt ending.
It's just like bum 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 bum. It's just it cuts
Yeah.
so fast. It's like, oh, he actually did the stuff, and he's still down there. He's not going to make it. It's over. There's
Right.
I see the names.
They left
already.
no room to like feel that emotional impact, I guess.
But every other scene in the movie sits for like
Yeah,
2
when
extra
he's,
minutes.
I really like the shot of him sitting with the gold,
Yes.
and I wish they didn't have the flashback scene. Like, I think
Perhaps, yeah.
that wasn't necessary. But I really liked how
Dude,
it
if
was
they
ending.
did that without the flashbacks,
Yeah.
it would have been much more like, is he contemplating just like drowning with it all, or like what is he gonna do?
Yeah,
It would
yeah.
put me more on the edge of my seat, but I'm like, he's thinking about his life. All right, well, I know exactly where this is gonna go.
Yeah,
But I thought he was gonna give up. I thought he was like, my family's important. I don't need this gold.
Mm-hmm.
But they twisted it, and that was good for me. I was like, dang, all right, nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Had this movie, I think, maybe had more refinement, or if they tried some more things different, I could see this as an underrated thriller. Because, again, that concept is kind of unique for a heist movie. How often do you see submarines?
Never, you never see
You
a sub
never
movie.
do. This could have been a really good sleeper film, but it is just.
What's the average rating on this film? I never looked.
Oh,
that
I didn't
up.
even check.
We talking IMDb or Letterboxd?
Whatever.
What does it have on Netflix? That's all that matters. How many thumbs up did it get?
Letterboxd is 3.1 stars average. That's about
sounds
right.
about right,
I'd say it's about right. There's nothing particularly outstanding, save for a couple of ideas and set pieces. But it does nothing horribly wrong either, compared to other movies we've seen.
I think that's one of the problems with it. It's just, for me, it's just like flatline. It's just kind of boring. Like, from beginning to end, I just didn't get attached to like any of it.
I was with it when I was watching it. When I think about it now, probably doesn't have much of an impact. It's only when you're watching it, I feel.
That's what I felt. I remember after I was like, "Damn, that was a good. I like that a lot. That's pretty great."
That was a good movie.
And I still think is quite good, but I think it's definitely like
At least a
a
one-time.
little bit for me.
At least a one-time watch.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's
It's a harmless one-time view.
yeah.
You see and forget.
Also, I wasn't expecting everyone to die towards the end. Maybe I was just stupid and I don't notice these things, but
It was.
I liked how it was just like
They took everybody.
yeah, I liked that a lot.
I like the escalation of that. Like every compartment's starting to flood,
Yes,
and it's taking at least one person with them.
right, I did
And then,
that a lot.
Yeah, Scoop McNairy gets caught in the door with his belt. That was terrible. I was feeling that one.
Yeah,
Oh, and then two guys are trapped in one compartment. They go up for air, but some sparks fly above them. One guy dips below the water, and the other guy gets roasted in the face.
yeah.
Dude, he got charred. He looked,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah. Oh, and then there was the engine room explosion midway through the movie, and then the two guys get killed in there.
The explosion.
that was nuts,
I wasn't
though.
expecting that.
That was nuts.
I guess there's actually a couple things that this and Killing Spree have in common. We'll get to that.
Oh yeah, Killing Spree, the other film. Let hold fire there for a
Hold
second.
fire,
So, it sounds like did we say all we need to say?
Yeah, I guess I could say I also didn't like the color palette at all. And the whites were blown the heck out. Like,
Maybe on the surface.
yeah.
The
it
whites?
was- oh, yeah. The sky, there were sections where it was, like, blinding.
Yeah, I mean,
Although, speaking of the surface scenes, another part I liked. There was the moment before they first dive. There's just Jude Law looking up at the sky one last time before they submerge. And then at the end, when Tobin, the young kid, he surfaces in the safety suit, the safety suit I call it. And yeah, I expect the blown out parts for that sort of thing. They've been underwater this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
you know what they used for some of this?
Like what? What do you mean?
I'm just looking at the cameras they use. It looks like they use a Canon EOS 1D and a EOS C500.
Those sound like consumer cameras.
They are.
Oh, jeez, that's not good.
Or there was also an Alexa,
Okay,
Ari Alexa.
they use the Alexa for the sub and
I don't know.
the cheap shit for the Surface.
Yeah, I would believe that actually, because that surface stuff was no bueno.
Yeah,
Not shot well on the surface.
yeah. Save for the end, I think, because I expected for that setting and for that scenario.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That's I don't really have
I think
much
we're
more to
overall
say.
kind of in agreement. Just, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never gonna see this again.
Yeah.
I'm never even gonna talk about this again. Honestly,
Probably not. Probably not.
yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. Been there, done that a lot of the time, but with some standout moments. And yeah, just doesn't stick with you too long. For as good as it can be in certain sections.
What's your score?
My score.
What's your score?
man.
Oh, I'll go 3. I was gonna do 3.5 at the time, but again, thinking back, it's a 3.
Okay. I enjoyed it. I liked Jude Law's character arc, even though it was a little cliche. I think
Nothing wrong with cliche.
No, yeah, it suited the film. It's pretty serviceable. I mean, there, like Nick said, there's some standout moments and there's some decent scenes of tension, but I won't be thinking about it for the next few days. So I'm thinking 3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll get behind that.
3.5, 3.
Mine's a 2.
Of course it is.
I
Boom.
don't like it. It's
Boom.
boring.
That's why it's 2, not half.
Exactly.
All right.
You haven't been really having good viewing experiences with these podcasts.
This is
I
unfortunate.
feel like every film's been a 2. Or
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the most part, we're like actively looking for not good movies.
Well, I wouldn't say not
I was
good,
about
but,
to
like,
say we got to start watching good shit now.
I think it's more just like just hidden things, just like lesser known.
and that's a gamble a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a gamble.
Unless you get the ones that are talked about a hell of a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like stepping into a piranha-filled river.
But I'm glad that you brought in Black Sea because it's,
Yeah, it did.
it's
variety
bigger
for the
budget
viewing.
and
Yeah.
newer.
Yeah, newer films. Newer films.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Newish films. This
newish.
movie was so last decade. Because it was last decade.
Well, it was. You're right. Okay. So
Now, Killing Spree. I think Ryan should introduce this movie. This is
the first bad movie gem I have ever found.
Damn.
Usually when I
Wonderful.
find bad movies, I just hate them. This is the first bad movie I found where I was like, this one
It's
is making
special.
me laugh a lot.
It's
Break it down
special.
for us, bro.
A very jealous husband is paranoid that his wife is cheating on him. That is the story.
That's it? You don't want to go more in depth
That
than
is
that?
the story.
Okay, fine.
That is
Wow.
the story.
Wow is all I have to say. Actually, when the movie started up, a little backstory. Ryan was talking up this movie for quite a bit because
Oh yeah.
before we got back to
3 times.
before we got back to recording this, I remember we watched Road Tour and there was another one. I keep forgetting. It was Road Tour and another film that sent us over the edge.
Oh, I don't remember. I know what you're talking about though.
Okay, yeah. Around that time, he was talking up another bad movie called Killing Spree.
Yeah.
And then he finally suggested it for this
Yeah.
for the show. So, the moment it starts up, I was thinking, okay, I know what Ryan's doing here. Let's see what's going on. And then by the end, it's like, okay, he struck gold. Bravo.
I did.
Bravo, Ryan.
Yeah.
Bravo,
I
Ryan.
agree.
It is a wild film, and that's saying something compared to the other movies we've covered on the show so far. Yeah, it goes. It commits to the insanity it tries to unfold itself. It develops a story and sticks to its guns and never buckles, which is
Despite
so
how
great.
bad it is.
Yeah. Oh man, it's bad. It's terrible. But jeez, it was fun.
What did you think, Victor? I've been waiting.
I loved it.
Yeah, of course you did.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, some of it has to be it has to be self-aware, right? Like,
hope.
I
because
doubt
there's
it.
some, like, especially towards the end where all the
Okay,
people he
sure.
assumes cheated on her wife are like, what are we going to do about this guy? Like, they all like group up
goodness,
and
the ending. I think the ending was the best.
But,
part. It was, but I was a little underwhelmed with the ending.
well, yeah. I
The
mean,
ending
it's-
was so slow and it drags on forever.
It did,
yeah.
That's my main complaint with this.
Yeah, I wish it went the full Sam Raimi, early Peter Jackson route. You got all these zombie ex-boyfriend, or not ex-boyfriends. You got all these zombie innocents. Really, they were innocent. They never once touched or even thought about doing it.
Nope.
You got all these zombies. They rise from the grave because of what this maniac main character did, and they're coming after the both of them because they're the roots of all the problems. I wish he took some weapons, turned into a zombie splatter flick at the end. It was already a splatter flick. Now let's make it a zombie splatter flick, and those are the best
I
kinds of splatter
forgot that
flicks.
they were supposed to reanimate until like the last 10 minutes when he's like, "Oh no, they're alive!" I forgot that was even
Did they allude to that at all in the movie?
in the synopsis.
Oh, the
I'm
synopsis
pretty
told you.
sure they say they come alive, and I didn't even remember.
Yeah, you wouldn't get
about
that watching the movie.
No, no.
Exactly.
I loved the main character.
Dude.
What a character!
The man's
literally.
a psycho.
His backhanded one-liners.
I wrote so many down.
Yes.
Everything about him was great. I love his name. It was like Asbestos West or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asbestos.
Yeah.
I love his name. I love his overly thick beard. I didn't like his Speedo.
I love his face. Just his face. Oh, man.
I liked the "Get out of my house before I kick you out, you big ass."
Yeah.
Dude,
Yes.
that line
That was
killed me.
gold.
That one and
Golden.
the other line that I think is my favorite is "You're a horny old bastard." Yeah. And then you just hear him down the first floor. Huh? Dude, that was so
His
funny.
expressions were unreal.
Especially when the lighting got dramatic.
Dude,
I did
know
like the lighting changes.
Whoa.
that was good.
This director,
That whore
I'll give,
slams her butt closed.
I'll give the director this. There's something going on behind the scenes. His thought process. All these lighting changes, these weird camera angles, and so on.
Dude, the camera angle when he's killing his friend who's like 108. He's killing
Yeah.
his girlfriend who's like 9. And it just
Oh.
shows him at the top of the stairs with
Yeah,
just, like, a
dude.
grape
It's such an awkward
head.
shot.
Yeah, that was a mannequin's head, straight up.
Oh,
Oh, it
absolutely.
was?
What about the scene where he goes to the beach
There's a beach. Hold on a second.
Oh,
when he thinks he's being cheated on early on in the movie?
Oh my! That was the hardest I laughed in the movie. Okay, there's no audio.
yeah.
There's no audio. There's just bad music, and it's like it's like a silent comedy. He walks by one guy and straight up punches him over the railing of the boardwalk,
And then drowns that guy.
and then he
or
finds another guy
attempts to
and
drown him.
drowns him.
And no one else, like, they're just like went to the beach and shot it. Because
Yeah.
if you look at everyone else walking
Yeah,
around,
they're
they're kind of
just
like watching,
staring.
like, what's going on?
Right.
What's this guy doing?
It's so funny. It's
Yeah.
so amateur. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, that music made me think I was playing a rejected Doom level at times.
It was pretty rough.
It was bad, straight bad. And the editing, wow. That is straight amateur right there. That is the editing that happens when you first get into film editing.
Oh yeah, direction is amateur too. They had a guy sit down and look at a magazine of Fangoria.
Yeah, a Fangoria magazine.
I love the way he
Yeah,
turned the pages.
Dude, he's so mad.
I was like, no one does it that hard. But
yeah. Editing though, no JNL cuts. There's too much dead air between shots.
That's what makes it fun, though.
Yeah.
Oh, pork chops. I hate pork chops.
I wrote that one.
Then why'd you buy them?
What else did you write down?
I like the scene where it's a dream scene and his friend
Gives
is-
good head.
Oh,
Absolutely.
the good
God.
head, and
That was-
her
that was
mouth
Jaw
becomes
dropped.
that was traumatizing.
her mouth, lips become, or her basically her entire face becomes lips, and she's
And there's white stuff
sucking
seeping out of
the
it.
friend's actual head, because she gave good head. It was great.
Subtle. I'm poking my head really hard here. Subtle.
That's what it's all about.
And the
isn't
way
it?
he
So-
looked at her, he was shocked.
His hair.
Oh, his hair,
raised.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
His eyes are
Yeah.
wide, bulging out of his face.
Stop it! Stop it!
Yeah,
With
don't
the knife.
Don't
So
stab him
good.
with that knife or nothing.
Oh,
Just
that was
hold
good.
it in front of your face.
As for the other quote unquote lovers, The Karate Man is probably one of my favorites.
Oh, dude.
One of them, because there's one guy that tops him just
cowboy
a little
hat?
bit.
Cowboy
the
man?
cowboy hat guy
Cowboy
in the shower.
Cowboy Man was my favorite.
Ooh, yeah.
How much are you willing to bet this started off as porn first?
No.
No?
But I can
It was feeling
They,
like
they
porn.
were,
at
that's
least.
why
It
I
was
think it
feeling
was
like porn.
self-aware.
Well,
because they
the
wanted it to feel like a
situations.
porno.
Didn't even deliver goods. You could see in the corners of
Oh, it
frames.
delivered goods.
No, not even that. No nudity, and you could tell they were wearing their boxers or their pants because it bleeds in and just barely in the corner of the frame. It's like, come on.
Yeah, but if you remember, they weren't
Really?
actual sex scenes. That was weird too, because she never had sex
Well,
with any of
cheap
those guys.
movie. Keep my
No.
interests a little bit.
But well,
What?
One of my
Is
favorite-
that such a bad request?
One of my favorite lines, and Nick, you're basically this is like your one-liner for the show is demonetized.
Yeah.
So I'll just say demonetized. One
Oh.
of my favorite lines in the movie is "Take your stupid pink faggot hat."
Oh yeah,
Dude,
that was my. I was
Yeah, that's
ripped.
hilarious.
and
I
just
was
the way
ripped
he
rolling.
just slams it into the trash can.
Dude, remind me of the Pale Phantom short film we shot. There's the shot where you just throw the dummy head up from the
Oh
crawl space.
yeah, dude,
So
that's
great. That's Ryan energy. That is big Ryan energy there.
it is. And then the burned cowboy hat guy comes back from the garbage
that was
can.
hilarious.
I
And he
like
struggles to get out of the can because it's too
I had to
big.
send you guys that picture last night.
Is that what it was? Okay, I didn't want to look at it because I didn't watch the movie yet.
Oh.
But
See,
Yeah.
okay, so there was two connections with this in Black Sea.
What were they?
what?
You have a charred man.
Okay,
There was a charred man in the Black Sea from the explosion.
okay.
That's true.
All right.
There's also a flashback scene involving the main character with their wife at a beach.
Okay.
That's true.
Both had them, and I was not
Oh,
expecting.
yeah.
I was like, "There's no. These are the most two different movies you could ever watch as a double feature."
Yeah, Killing Spree.
But there were two connections, and I was blown away.
That is nuts that they actually did that.
Yeah,
They
but
lined up a little bit.
Yeah, but Killing Spree didn't have Doctor Who in their flashbacks.
I don't.
Stunned silence. The reason I say that is because Jodie Whittaker was in Black Sea.
Oh,
She's the new Doctor
okay,
Who.
right. Okay.
Doctor Who's a girl now. Did you know that, Ryan?
I don't
Yeah,
know
Ryan,
what
did you know
Doctor
that?
Who is? Who cares about him?
I
The
do.
dude that wrote those cat books that rhyme back in the day?
Okay.
No.
No one cares about Doctor Who.
Thank you.
It's a good show. But anyways, back to your stupid fucking Killing Spree. I don't care.
This
Such a
is
good
one of
movie.
those.
It is fun.
One of those good films. One of those good ones.
Bad.
See, I've tried to,
good,
like-
bad films.
I've tried to stop using the "so bad it's good"
But this one would
description
fit that
because
moniker.
if you think about it, it doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
I think that
It's so wild and over the top.
it's bad, but there's too much entertaining in it to be truly awful. It's weird. It's like you can see the bad stuff in it, but it made you laugh.
Well, it's
It cracked you up. You found it entertaining.
It was fun.
Yeah.
it was
su-
fun,
it's
it was
not-
fun
it's,
because it sucks ass.
but that's the thing. I don't know.
Does it suck if you got enjoyment,
That's
though?
I mean, you could still get
you look at the
entertainment
film
from
from
bad
from I don't know. I guess it's seeing it from an objective point of view. It's like this is just their vision, and we all make bad stuff.
Well, we can't sympathize
And-
with every product.
I think they
don't know, I just-
intentionally did it, though.
I think some of it is kind of intentional. I mean, I don't know. Every film has its quirks, and they're weird things, and I think this is just one like Things, the movie Things. Although I think Things was less intentional, or not at all intentional.
Things was worse than this movie. I thought.
I think in terms of craft, yeah, Things.
I don't know. I refuse to believe there was
It
intention.
might have just been that this had more money. Like, honestly.
It might.
that.
I don't. That's hard
Honestly,
to tell.
Sheesh.
I mean, this director has done more stuff.
He's
So-
done a good few things.
He has?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
The lead actor's been in a lot. I think he was in Piranha 3D.
You're shitting me.
Yeah, he's like an icon in
Pe-
like the
people-
like cult horror community. They're like, that dude with the beard.
Are you kidding? People in this movie actually went on to do other stuff.
Yep. Big stuff too. Like he has a very small role. I think it's Piranha 3D, but he has a very small role and he just like cameos and everyone goes crazy. Because if you see Piranha 3D, for the most part, you've seen Killing Spree and other bad movies too.
Well, Piranha 3 is a good movie.
Wait, which actor?
The lead.
Asbestos Best, I think.
Oh, I don't see him.
And it's probably his moniker, probably a pseudonym.
Yeah.
Because I refuse to believe you can walk around in public with a name like Asbestos. Yikes. And I refuse to believe something like the old lady waiting forever in the foyer of the house is intentional.
That was such a stupid scene.
That was so dumb.
That was so awful.
I was like, this is so corny.
She
and
goes for
like,
the
of
magazine-
course this would happen.
She goes for the magazine rack that's weirdly positioned by the front door. Who puts a magazine rack there?
I knew she was going to find something too inappropriate because the way she let her, I knew she was going to be like, oh, what is this? But then she keeps it. Yeah,
it.
I thought she would. Yeah, I thought that scene was so stupid. It was so dumb.
Yeah, wait here. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And then he slinks away, and he comes back at the perfect time. You know, he's just watching off camera.
Right.
It's so funny. It's so...
man.
Asbestos Felt. That's his name. Asbestos Felt.
he felt asbestos.
Sure.
Now he's
and,
asbestos felt.
and succumbed to asbestos
I
poisoning.
think as far as crazy characters go, I think he's probably my favorite in
Oh, he's definitely the highlight of the movie.
recent time.
He's so good.
He's he really he's not a good actor, but he
No.
he
No,
he
none of
definitely-
them are.
He tries to be a little psychotic, or not a little psychotic.
A little?
very, very psychotic. I just he's so entertaining.
He is. He's the little engine that could.
But his best friend, dude.
Oh
Yeah.
Hey, I think you're getting the wrong impression here, Tom.
Peter Griffin, is that you?
Dude, it's exactly what he sounds like. He's just honky
Griffin.
and goosey, and he's Jewish, and it sounds wonderful.
Hey Joe, why don't we go out for a beer or something?
Dude, that is the friend. He sounds like every old Jewish comedian of all time.
I want to hear you guys' top 10 Family Guy impressions.
Top 10 what?
Family Guy impressions.
Peter Griffin. Joe.
Stewie. Blast!
Okay, we're done.
Chewbacca.
Fuck
Somebody do Chewbacca. Please don't.
Okay,
I did it.
We're getting banned. I'm actually gonna
You should just
remove.
kick
I'm
me
gonna.
off the
I'm gonna
show.
kick out. I'm gonna delete the channel when I
No,
get
just
home.
just kick me off. Your ratings will climb. Trust me. So
no, I'm
kill it-
collapsing the entire thing.
No, don't do that.
It's done.
Don't do that because of my.
This is
account.
the end
shit, guy.
of Cinema Sins.
Don't. Okay, no, actually, yeah, please,
That's fine.
end that
That's good.
fucking garbage.
Actually, I will.
immediately.
I'll delete their account for
Do
them.
it.
Do it.
I will
For
love you
society.
Do it
forever.
for the rest of us.
For society.
Me love you long time. So anyway, Killing Spree.
A fun, goofy, wacky, not very good movie that is fun for me until the third act, and then it drags on for what feels like an hour.
Yeah, good schlocky fun, except for when it isn't, and then it is again, but then it isn't, and then it is in the long run.
Okay. So, as that is, should we just? I don't know what else to talk about with that film.
Well, yeah, VCR camera cinematography the whole way. The fisheye lens. That's okay. Camera placements are weird in this movie. The eye
to
line,
say the least.
the eye line goes all over the place.
Eyeline.
Well, they're either staring.
What's an
in
eye
camera-
line?
You never been on a film set before? No. Well, just the camera shots, the placements, and angles were
He's
weird.
teasing you.
I am.
I think so. I would
I
hope
am.
so. They're either looking into space, they're either looking into the camera, and there's no logical rhyme or reason for the order of shots in this movie, and it's just crazy.
See, that's why I think this is a mix of actually amateur filmmaking mixed with self-aware. We're gonna make this feel like a porno, and I
Well-
think that's the perfect like. We're gonna go for jokes, but we're not good at executing them.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's like in that fine balance.
I
Well, I
agree
feel
with
when you want to do self-aware filmmaking, that means you're pretty good at filmmaking, so you have an understanding of
No,
what you're.
But I mean, in
thinking
terms of the
about.
writing, yes. But in terms of the technical aspect, heck no. This movie is shot so bad.
that. Think
Okay,
about like as an amateur filmmaker ourselves, like especially Ryan and I, we've made so much like dumb stuff
Oh yeah.
because we know we can and we're aware of it, but we still maybe try in the technical department or maybe just not at all. And
think
so
it's-
I think you can balance those two things and make it work. And I think that maybe they don't have the filmmaking finesse, the techniques down, but if they're trying to make a somewhat of a dark comedy, they succeeded. I think.
Perhaps so in that regard. Yes.
I don't know.
I say as I'm twirling my brandy glass. This isn't brandy; it's just water. I don't drink enough water.
That's a
You want to kick me off the show yet?
yeah.
Cool.
We're not sponsored by water. Just to let you all know.
What water would sponsor us?
So
Water is the public domain.
foot
water?
water.
Gamer girl.
Yeah, you know, like when you
water.
after you shower, all the foot water.
You mean gray water? No, gray water's the other water.
What's gray water?
Comes out of your body.
What's
We're
The
getting
water that
side-
comes out of my body's red.
That's
I don't know if I like this.
That's
guys.
not gray water.
It's not good.
That's a problem.
It's bad.
That's a straight
I
problem.
need to go to a doctor.
All right, so
So-
Killing Spree.
My weird ramblings aside, fun time. A schlocky mess of a movie that is a fun time. It's one of those.
Then your score?
Realistically, a 1.5. But for entertainment, it gets a 4. Maybe a 3.5.
This is one of those bad films that I really enjoyed. It had everything in it that makes a bad film worth watching. From the psychotic characters to the off-kilter humor and very bad line readings and acting and so forth. It's just a fun movie, you know. Good late night watch. You and your buddies. I think this is also kind of one of those hard ones to rate, like Things was, because like my inner self is like I had so much fun with it. 4.5. But if I was being the critical filmmaker self, I'd be like a 1. So I'm gonna go with a 4.
Oh, you're going with the 4.
I'm gonna go with a 4.
Yeah, in terms of movie in general, probably
It's hard to-
1.5 or a 2.
Yeah, it's so hard to like. What do you do? Like, what do you pick?
It'd be a 1 or a 1.5.
Yeah.
1.5, I think, for me. But then in enjoyment, I think a 3.5 or a 4 for sure.
Yeah,
I laughed so hard watching this.
it's pretty damn
Yeah.
funny. I also like that one scene where is a dream scene, I think, and he's laying on his couch and his girlfriend's next to him, and the Star Spangled Banner starts playing.
But I think,
Oh, yeah.
No,
That's not a dream. He's just sleeping down there.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's the 80s, so TV broadcasting back then when they would.
Was the
didn't
TV on? I don't
Well, some history for you.
okay, I actually would like to know. So
TV broadcasting in the 80s isn't like now. There wasn't all day, all night broadcasting. So when they would conclude for the day by playing the Star Spangled Banner, and then the channel would just go to Static Snow.
Oh, well, look at that. I guess it wasn't as random as I thought.
Yeah. I don't think.
Thank you.
I don't even think it was a dream, really.
I know it probably wasn't. I think I was just,
He was just
I would-
sleeping.
yeah, I probably just, yeah, forgetting.
You were sleeping. You fell asleep with the movie.
Oh, no. Okay, well, that,
All
yeah,
right.
okay.
What about the very ending?
The little,
Where she's going to leave and then he
so
comes back?
stupid, dude.
Wasn't that awful?
Wait.
He arises from, like, the floor of,
He's like, what? And then just stops.
he's like, "Bleh." It's the very end. She walks outside and he comes
The
from like the
last
floorboards from
Oh,
the
was
deck
it
or something.
after credits or before?
No, it was before credits. It was literally the last shot.
Oh, yeah, that was dumb. Straight
it
dumb.
was.
It was so
Straight
corny.
dumb.
See, that's where I think too. It's like, okay, this is
Yeah.
definitely they're aware this is stupid.
Actually,
Oh, yeah.
actually, just how they got there. They're talking to the zombie lovers that they're gonna leave the room and kill the girl, and then they walk to the couch instead of running for the back door like they said they would. They sit on the couch. He grabs the
Because he gets a
hacksaw.
plan. He's like, I got a plan. Just
Oh,
trust
that's right.
me.
Okay, yeah, I missed that part. But yeah, they get to the couch. He gets the hacksaw. He's gonna go to slice her throat, but then he just slices his own throat. And it's just like, what?
Good plan.
Sure, why not?
It was so bad. You guys like the kills?
Yeah, the kills.
There are some good ones. I liked the screwdriver.
That was neat.
Mm-hmm.
I like the chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
Better chainsaw than Things.
I don't remember the.
He gets Karate Guy tied up in his attic or whatever.
Yes, and he takes his intestines out
Yeah.
and attaches it to the car battery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, that was good.
That was it.
That
'Cause,
was
like,
good.
he chainsaws him open.
That's
and then
right,
he
yes.
electrocutes
I really like the ceiling fan.
I've never
thought that
seen
could've
Sling
been
Blades like
better.
this before.
I thought that could have been better. Like chop his head off instead of scalping him.
At first, I
know,
didn't
that's why it's
understand
so
what he
stupid.
was going to do because it's like
Yeah.
no one's going to be able to reach that with their head. I was like, why
Right.
did he do that?
Yeah.
And then just to lift him up and
What do you?
what was his? Yeah, he does like.
Why don't you get a closer look, buddy?
Yeah, but he says something about haircut. If I
Oh, yeah,
remember
Yeah,
right.
take a little off the top or something.
Yeah,
Off the top.
Ugh,
Classic.
hilarious.
More like cliche.
Oh,
But
and
I
then-
did like Charred Zombie Lover. Okay,
Dude,
there
I love
was
how he
some
puts his
good.
hat on
There was some
again.
good practicals in this, for as amateurs was. Good practicals, makeup,
Yeah.
lots of blood. The charred zombie guy looked really cool. And you know what? The synopsis is they come back from the dead. They say that
I think
outright?
so. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
Because if so, that's a false expectation right there. Like you think they would rise up immediately, but that's not till the end.
I feel like a lot of these 80s horror films, they have a really cool premise to get you hooked in, and then that doesn't come until like the last
The end
act of the film.
Well, they have to spoil it because otherwise, no one's probably gonna watch it.
That might be the case.
That is true.
I feel like I have seen quite a few 80s films where they do that, where the cool thing that you wanted, it's like, oh, that's okay,
I
that's
mean,
it.
like think about it. Spoilers were like not a big thing back in the day. Like
No.
Planet
I
of
don't
the
know,
Apes
yeah.
poster literally has the Statue of Liberty on it.
Are you like the original poster? Wow. Okay.
It's like
Yeah,
really?
and most movie trailers showed every good part. And
And they're long too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just different back
they
then.
don't follow the structure we do now. So yeah, either movies weren't that heavily marketed, and you can do away with like one spoilerific
Oh,
trailer,
gosh.
or I don't know.
society got soft.
It just hit me. So for our two listeners, I got a hold of over 2,000 movie posters from this video store in Tacoma that's shutting down, and it goes from the dates are from 1985 to 2012, and this movie was released in 1987. I hope that there's a miracle in the work and that I have a poster of Killing Spree, because if I do, I'm going to nut.
You know what you're gonna be? You're gonna be that one movie character that has all the cool cult movie posters in his room and everyone goes hangs out at his pads. Like, look at all the shit. Oh,
I
he's
hope.
Dude
He's
needs to have no lights in your room. Just sunlight from the window.
Oh.
The walls have to be like wood, like a cabin.
Oh. Don't get me
Hardwood
inspired.
floors,
Yeah.
so you can slide around in your socks, and like a secret box under your bed or something
Oh, yes.
that has like weird weapons and stuff that every teenager had in all those old movies and
Yeah,
stuff.
a switchblade, a machete, a revolver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of walls, the house in this movie, I've never seen a more featureless house. in my
It's
life.
so bland.
There's nothing on there's no pictures,
That's
no posters,
where,
no flower pots.
An environment does not match up with like the characters or anything. Like
So
there's no
cheap.
way that these two people have this house.
The first shot where they're sitting on the couch together when
Yeah.
you first get inside, it's just like, whoa.
He leans really
bland.
weirdly on that thing.
He like avoided the
Are you-
pillow as he was
Like, are you
sitting on it.
comfortable, bro?
I was like,
And the exterior raises more questions. Where is this house located?
I don't know, but
I
I,
know.
like it a
Middle
lot.
of nowhere.
I love the location. It looks
So
so,
nowhere.
Driving up to the
Florida.
house, the second I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm in for something.
homey. Jupiter, Florida. This film was shot in.
Jupiter or Florida?
I still say nowhere.
Jupiter, Florida.
I still say the middle of nowhere. In fact, so nowhere, a little pink dog has to rescue people from monsters. That's pretty nowhere.
That's very nowhere.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Walls and houses and dead, not lovers that come back from the grave.
Yeah.
That's Killing Spree.
That's Killing Spree.
Which one of the two would you guys watch again?
Killing Spree, hands
Mine's
down.
Killing Spree. I love that movie.
Fine, Killing Spree.
No, not fine.
Not
No,
fine. You have to give in.
Yeah.
Okay. Realistic, though, Killing Spree.
Okay.
Ooh.
I mean, Killing Spree does have more to talk about for as horrible as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those cases.
It's one of those ones you'd want to show people. Like,
Perhaps. Although, I wouldn't
maybe
protest
not your
Black
mom
Sea.
or your.
I wouldn't not recommend Black Sea.
Yeah.
I guess I'm too forgiving. I'm too soft. I'm too benefit of the doubt
Just
kind of
listen
guy.
to what your heart says. That's
Yeah, that's just what I feel.
yeah,
Like Black Sea's not terrible, but Killing Spree does offer a little more.
yeah.
Both are one-time watches, but
Ooh, I'm on my 4th with Killing Spree.
Oh,
well,
nice.
that's
That's
the
me
show,
with Love on a Leash.
Well, this
we
show
got our 2
demands-
gems.
Oh yeah.
Well, in that case, Road Tour Round 2.
Oh, I'm down
I need
for
to see
another
that.
road tour.
So that's it for this episode. Who knows what we're going to review next? I think we got a couple ideas, but we'll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see.
We'll fight to the death over who gets picked next time.
Pick. Okay, thanks for listening, everyone.
Catch you later.